When you told her, will you marry me? What did your wife say? Yes, let's get this over with. I don't think so. You say a little bit, women, are you sure about that? Even if you know that you're sure, right? Because you want to relish the moment of your loved one committing to a lifetime of relationship. You want to, be in that moment. When you and I open this book, God is not looking at you as a slow thinker at all. He's looking at you and enjoying the way you are spending time and not rushing out. Lord, you better talk to me. There's a game coming up in 10 minutes. That's the losing Raiders, Lord. I'm praying that they'll win. Or the losing Warriors. Or the Bulldogs. Are the Bulldogs champions? I talked to that young man and he's playing in the football team. Don't rush. Let God speak. And I pray that He's speaking to you now, too. Okay, let's go to the... let's skip this image. I want to go to the next one. Pardon, there's a lapse. There's a lapse in all this. I can, he has the file. You can look at this later on. Okay, it's all about love. The second mark of a disciple of the Lord. Again, let's read together. Love one another as I have loved you, so you must love one another. By this everyone will know that you are my disciples if you love one another. There's a number of love words in there. Is that romantic love? Cozy kind of love? Lovey love? Friendly love? Love as a club? As a church? Can churches be like a club? It can. I talked to two of the guys at the kitchen counter and I asked them, by the way, I'm curious, do you have a Filipino family here in your church? Why did I ask that? Because there are Filipino people living in Tracy. A number of them. Or even in Mountain House nearby. And they thought and argued that we really have... Finally the answer was no. And my next question to the two guys, poor two guys, they were put on the spot. I should have asked Mark or Scott, right? But I did ask him, why are you not reaching out to them? You know what? Not only your church, but hopefully not your church, but other churches have become so closed and they're looking like a club. And if you're a stranger in the community and you don't look like the club members in that church, you'll not be able to get in. And you know what tells Jesus? That church club doesn't have love. If you have love, no matter what hair color, no matter, you can't really see me, but I have blue eyes actually. I'm Dutch. I just don't have the height and the blonde hair. But the Dutch were in the Philippines some time ago. Your church can be a club. And any church can be a club if they don't practice the kind of love that opens opportunities. The gospel of Jesus Christ is for all, right? It's not only for people who look like you and have interests like you or in your family, extended family, no. It's for everybody. It's all about love. And a real disciple of the Lord is open to anybody because we are called to love one another, believers, and to love others, our neighbors, co-workers, friends. Let's go to the third. I had pictures downloaded. These are copyright-free pictures from the internet. They're showing, kind of representation of what it could have been that Jesus did. Went on the cross, crucified, but he mingled with even sinful people because he wanted to show who he really is. He didn't show himself only to those in the synagogues or in the temples, but especially those who were outside. Okay, we're almost there. A disciple bears much fruit. A disciple disciples others. Let's read together that verse. This is to my Father's glory, that you bear much fruit, showing yourselves to be my disciples. Just one item in this part, I will ask you. How many of you are here worshiping in this church today because somebody discipled you? And this is the question where I will ask you to raise your hands. I see 2 hands at the back. Let me say that again. How many of you are here because somebody discipled you, like teaching you what it really means to be a disciple, to be a follower of Jesus Christ? Not just, well, Pastor, I came to this church because I saw the website. It's cool. You really have a cool website. Or, I know Pastor Mark, Mark Humphreys, and I know him, and I'm amazed at his turnaround in his life, and he's a pastor now helping out. I like to be in that church. Or maybe you would say, Pastor, I'm here in this church because I was just jogging along in this warehouse area, and lo and behold, there's a church in the warehouse area. How many of you are here because somebody discipled you? That is my case. That is Vicky's case, and I saw a few hands here. That's the plan of Jesus Christ. If churches were to be filled up, it has to be with people who had been discipled. And you know what that would mean in the long term? Any church that will be filled up with real disciples or fruits of other disciples, will that be a weak church or a strong church? Many people come to a church because they like the music. They like the color of the carpet. I don't know why people would prefer that, right? But they will be in a church and stick with the church and call it their home church, because that's the church where somebody discipled them. And they committed to that kind of style or lifestyle of discipleship. And you want to be in that church. And you want to win others or disciple others. And naturally, they will come to where you are. Because they want to see if things are really true. And if they see everything is consistent with what you say, with what the book says, and what you practice, that church will be filled with real disciples. Again, I ask, is there going to be a weak church or a strong church? It's going to be a powerful church. It's the church that Jesus has in mind. Not a church of weaklings, but a church of people who disciple others. Because they understand in their heart, I'm called to be a disciple of Jesus Christ. And part of the mark of a disciple is you bear fruit in the lives of others. Not just being good to other people, but leading this friend relationship with them towards discipleship with Jesus Christ. And then the last thing that we will do. That's the lone cypress tree, right? Famous lone cypress tree in the mile, 21 mile or... in Monterey. Okay. And then finally this. That's Mark 10:45. It's a memory verse that I had when I was in college and never left my mind. Let's read that together. For even the Son of Man did not come to be served, but to serve, and to give his life as a ransom for many. That's Mark 10:45. If you believe in that, the word of the Lord, Mark 10:45, will you be in the lounging chair? Maybe part of the time, yes. You need to rest. You need to relax. But not all the time as a lifestyle. That verse talks of a lifestyle. What kind of lifestyle? It's a serving lifestyle. I wonder if your church, I haven't spent time with you yet, but let's think for a moment. If a church is filled with people, more than majority of a church, of a congregation, has people who are having and practicing, and really, they don't have to do it just when they're in the company of church people, but in and out of the church, that's their lifestyle. What do you think? If the kitchen is dirty, after a church service, after a big fellowship event, and there's nobody cleaning yet, what will you say? What would you say? Where's the team assigned to this? We organize ourselves, there's a kitchen, the cleanup crew after the event. If your church is filled with people who have this as their lifestyle, their mindset, nothing to be told, if you saw the kitchen dirty and it has to be clean, you'll do it. When I was a young Christian, I learned that value early. And to this day, I won't mind if I had to clean the toilets. Of course, I had to clean the toilets in our house, and it needs cleaning already. I don't have to be told by my wife. But there was a time when I was beginning as a pastor, there was a church, the building was newly built. This is in the Philippines, and everything is dirty, when there's a construction and all that. And so I walked in that Sunday morning, and this little house building, church building, it was construction debris. And the two toilets, the ladies and the men's, were in immaculate white tiles. And it was rainy season. And you can imagine how those two rooms looked. So I had time, the people were not there yet. I rolled up a little bit my pants and all that and started hosing down the toilets. It's the house of the Lord. I would have, I could have waited for an elder or an elder candidate. Hey, you see those? I did it myself. Why? I was not showing anything. There were no people yet. But I respected the house of the Lord, and not only that, I believe in that. For even the Son of Man did not come to be served, but to serve and to give his life as a ransom for many. I did not have to tell myself, are you a disciple of Jesus Christ? It has become natural in me. That is the beauty of becoming and be convinced that you're a disciple of Jesus Christ. Nobody has to tell you anymore. That is your choice, and God is wonderfully transforming you. Okay? Unfortunately, many churches today, people had to be told what to do. It has not become our natural being yet, but it can be. There are wonderful Christians all around who believe in this, and they're actually doing it. So what are we talking about now? Disciple? Are you becoming a disciple of Christ? Let me skip this slide. Some other images of the Lord. Okay. Are you maturing? Are you maturing as a disciple? You could say one part of your life, sometime in your life you would say, Pastor, I am a disciple of the Lord. But maybe the proper question to ask at any point in your life is, am I maturing? It's an endless process of growing and maturing. You cannot be a disciple like this in 1985 and stay like that so many years later on. No, it has to be a process of transformation, transfer of maturing. And so I have this to summarize again for you.